And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hello everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Shalia, Warring States. This is a game from Kickstarter that I really didn't know much about. I looked at it, it looked pretty interesting. The idea of rolling dice and using abilities to attack an opponent sounded pretty interesting, so that is pretty much my intro to it. I liked the art on it, looked pretty cool, and when I went through it, there's a lot of cool pieces in it. Well, we'll just have to see right now. In this game, each player is going to have their own board. You have a palace that has 12 life, which if you destroy everyone else's palace, you win. And you also have a culture token that if you get to 18 points, you will win the game. When you play the game, you're going to pick a scenario. So, warring states, trade war, hidden figures. It will tell you what players they're for. So Blue Diamond is a 1 versus 1. These are mostly the same type of games. The objective of the game is destroy your opponent's palace or gain a culture score. The main difference is the number of cards that you will use and the different trading post tiles that you will use. You have a big deck here. There's 2 decks, level 1 buildings and level 2. This is a huge deck. You won't use every card in every game. You'll just use groups of cards. And then on the trading board here, you might put some tiles in these empty spots to do those from game to game. Each game is going to take place the same way. One person's going to go first. That person has the flag. This will move around. And players are going to first do a purchase phase. This is where you can buy cards. You can buy the top card of level 1s and get various buildings. There are 6 different buildings in the level 1 pile, 8 copies of each. You can also buy level 2 cards. These you can buy from the face-up ones. There's 3 face-up ones next to the board. These are better versions of the buildings in level 1. You can also, everyone's going to use 3 dice in their turn, but you can, for this turn, buy an extra die for some coins. And you can buy an officer. You can buy 2 officers, and that costs a gem. So I should mention the different resource in this game. There's money, which is going to be used to build buildings. There are gems, which are used to build some of the buildings also. It's another thing to do. And then there are officers, which you can use to adjust the dice. After the purchase phase is over, players can build buildings. When you build a building, it's going to have a cost to build that building. So this skull is pretty easy. It simply has a cost of 1. It has 2 hit points to put it out there. And I can build these pretty easily. If I want to build a bigger building, this bank, to build a bank, I need another bank or I need a farm in play. So unless I have the farm in play, I can't build it. And then its costs, usually for these bigger buildings, are both money and gems to build them. If you want to, you can also pay to unlock these 2 spots here. They cost 3 gold to unlock them to build more. And if you run out of spots, you can build and replace other buildings. If you have a defense card, those must be played in the front row. Other than that, though, it doesn't matter. Then you're going to do the action phase. You're going to roll these dice, 3 or 4, if you bought extra dice. The numbers that you roll, you're going to place on cards to activate them. Some cards have a specific number that they need. This, you put a 3 there to gain 1 culture. Some cards have double dice on them. This one, I need to put a 2 and a 3 together, but then I'll do 5 damage if I pull that off. Some spots, everyone has 3 spots on their board that any die can go there to give you gold or officers. And remember, I said you can use officers to adjust what you have. So like I said, there are several basic buildings in the game. The basic buildings are the barricade. You can put that there. If someone attacks, a lot of things do damage. That damage can be done straight to your palace, which could put you out of the game, or you could even blow up other buildings. The barricade will block them. Infantry lets you deal damage. Markets let you trade. When you trade, you're going to be able to go to the trading board. This will change from game to game, but you'll be able to trade various things here. So I can sell a mineral, for example, for 3 coins, or I can buy a mineral Or I can buy a blockage token. A blockage token lets me put a token on someone's building, and they need a 3 to unlock that. And of course, this is one that changes from time to time. Buy life tokens, buy attack tokens. These are tokens that you can put on your cards to make them better. Life tokens make it harder to kill something, and attack tokens will allow you next time to attack to do more damage to the opponent. So that's what the market lets you do, is it lets you go to that trading area. Barricades, like I said, defend. Farms can give you gold. Schools give you culture. And blacksmiths give you minerals. And then there is a whole variety of other cards in here. Gain 1 mineral before rolling the dice. This is a passive one. You don't even need to put a die there. Gain a culture. A watchtower. A swamp. A temple. Gives me 2 culture if I roll a 4. If I roll a 1 and a 6, I get 5 culture. There's even mega cool buildings in here that cost a lot, but they can do a lot of cool things for you. This War Fountain does 2 damage to all opponents' cards and palace, but you need to use all 3 of your dice, a 1, a 6, and then any die. So that's basically the game. It's pretty short. You're just going to keep going back and forth till someone either takes out all their opponents or till someone gets enough culture to win. This is the Kickstarter version, so I'm not quite sure how the final version will look, but I really like this one. There's a bunch of character cards you get. Some cards let you draw 2 characters and keep them. They give you basically special abilities that you can use, or you can sell the card for 3 coins if you don't want to use the special ability. I like the artwork on these. It's a mix of cartoony and serious together. The card quality itself is pretty cool. There's a lot of buildings. It is a lot of work maybe to sort these buildings out at the beginning of each game because you put different ones in. But I will say that the rule book is very well done. There's a few questions I had in the rule book, like when you buy things in the purchase phase, do you have to say what you're going to buy ahead of time, or can you buy one card, look at it, buy another card, look at it? The cover for the game, and by the way, the game, all these components are fantastic. These metal coins, these wooden pieces, they're all great. And these, even the player boards are nice cardboard boards. Everything fits in here. But anyway, back to the cover. The cover is really pretty, and it comes with a sleeve. And I got to say, this is one of those times, usually I can say, well, I like one better than the other. I like both of these covers. The sleeve looks real pretty and neat, and so does the regular one. So the game itself just has a really good quality and look to it. The first thing I want to say here about Shalia is, honestly, I don't know why you would play this with anything other than an even number of players. Specifically, I play this with 2 or with teams, because the game just doesn't work as a 3-player game as any attacking game might do. There's a scenario in there for 3 players, but because of that, I can attack you, you attack him, we attack whoever. The fact of the matter is, if you play with more than 2 players, the attacking strategy just simply isn't as strong as getting culture. So I think this game is best as a 2-player game. And even that, the scenarios, like, ooh, all these different scenarios, no, they're just different groupings of cards. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You could even play with all the cards mixed together. But the game itself is really light. And I like the nice balance. It has a similar balance in many games. Do you want to attack the opponent or get points? Attacking your opponent, you can attack their cards, which is mean, but in a 2-player game, to be expected. And you can really grind someone down and then attack them. So the attacking strategy, like I said, in a 2-player game is a very valid one. If you let someone get a couple buildings that build a bunch of culture, it's hard to stop them, especially if they get a defensive building out that you need to destroy first before you can get to their culture. And this game can be over really quickly. I mean, it says here on the box, it says 30 to 60 minutes. There's going to be a lot of games that are 30 minutes, and I don't think that is a bad thing. This game is in the line of Machikoro and other games, where you roll dice, manipulate those dice slightly, and then place them on your cards. I like that the game always has somewhere to place a dice. If nothing else, you have those 3 spots that give you officers and coins. And once you get enough officers, you can manipulate the dice to do exactly what you want. As you get those bigger buildings and do 5 damage or gain 5 culture, it feels good. The game has a nice ramping up. There's definitely luck in the cards. Now, because there is 8 cards in this basic deck, or 6 cards and 8 copies of each, if you're looking for one, I usually buy an advanced card early on and say, okay, let's find a prerequisite for that card. You're probably going to find it. But realize sometimes just the luck may not work out for you, but because it's a 30-minute game, I don't find it to be that big of a deal. I find the replayability in this game to be pretty strong. There's lots of these different scenarios, which means different buildings you'll see. The starting characters can be different, and the different marketplace tiles that you put out there can change from game to game. You're not going to have long thoughts on what to do here. I'm like, I'll buy a few cards. I'll buy some dice. Your turn, go. I'll build these buildings. Your turn, go. I will now roll my dice. Your turn, go. And it's just back, back, back. I like that. That, coupled with how the game looks, make this a joy for me. This is a good example of a Kickstarter game that's done good. You know, you look good, you look at it, it has a nice look to it. It's a nice, fast, back and forth 2-player game. It's not too heavy to be overwhelming, but lets you make some fun decisions and gives you 2 pretty strong strategies. Do you want to get your culture up, or do you want to attack the other player? Again, the worst flaw of the game is not really a good multiplayer experience, at least for me. Other than that, and again, I know I'm looking at a deluxe edition, but the production value is quite good. It's really easy to teach and play. Lots of variety. I think it's worth getting. That's Shalia. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment approved.